Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements regarding James Webb Space Telescope. It is a large infrared telescope with a 6.5 meter primary mirror. It is an international collaboration between NASA and India. We have to select the correct statement. James Webb Space Telescope. Yes, it is a large infrared telescope with a 6.5 meter primary mirror. But it is not a collaboration of NASA and India, but NASA and European Space Agency as well as Canadian Space Agency. So, the correct answer to this question would be option A, that is one only. If we talk about it, then we have already discussed the first statement. The telescope will be launched on an Ariane 5 rocket from French Guiana in 2021. It will study every phase in the history of our universe, ranging from the first luminous glows after the Big Bang to the formation of the solar system, capable of supporting life on planets like Earth, to the evolution of our own solar system. Webb is an international collaboration between NASA, ESA and CSA. Moving ahead, consider the following statements regarding Kapu community. They are a cattle raising community. They are primarily found in Maharashtra. We have to select the correct statement. Kapu community. They are not a cattle rearing community, but an agrarian community. That means their tribes depend on the agriculture. So the first statement is incorrect. And also, if we talk about the second statement, they do not belong to Maharashtra, but they belong to Andhra Pradesh. So none of them being correct. The correct answer to this question would be option D, neither one nor two. The AP government has recently announced 10% reservation for the Kapu community and other economically weaker sections in accordance with the Constitution 103rd Amendment Act 2019. Kapu refers to a social grouping of agriculturists from primarily in the southern state of Andhra Pradesh. They are primarily an agrarian community, forming a heterogeneous peasant caste. So, agrarian communities nowadays are facing a lot of distress because of the less returns in the agriculture sector. And as the agrarian distress is rising, time and again we have seen, of course, the demands for reservation will also rise, like the Marathas. Like the Marathas reservation system, it was premised on this only, that the revenue was not increasing in the agriculture sector and they were distressed. Moving on, Chaman-Vesh border is located between which of the following countries? Chaman-Vesh border is located between two very important countries for India, that is Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan is a lot in the news because of the withdrawal of the troops of America and its allies from Afghanistan after 20 years of a stalemate war. Let's move on and know more about this question. This question says, this answer's explanation says, Pakistan has recently reopened its border with Afghanistan at Chaman to allow several thousand Afghan nationals to cross into their country due to border closure, as Taliban captured Vesh areas of Afghanistan. The Chaman-Vesh border crossing is one of the major international border crossings between Pakistan and Afghanistan. It leads north from the town of Chaman district, Balochistan, to Vesh in Spin Boldak, Kandahar province. So, Spin Boldak was also actually taken hold of by the Taliban. And as Taliban is continuing with its illegitimate and unparalleled and unbridled power in Afghanistan, such more instances will be in the news. Let's move on to our next question. Ahar River, recently seen in the news, is located in which of the following countries? It is located in Germany. So, heavy rains have flooded the Ahar River, located in Germany. The rains have killed at least 45 people in the country and left many more missing. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding FASTER scheme. It is implemented by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway. It will help in reducing congestion in toll plazas. Now we have to select the correct statement. Faster scheme sounds like fast tag scheme, which is under the aegis of Ministry of Road Transport and Highway to reduce congestion in toll plazas. But this is not fast tag scheme, this is faster scheme. It is an initiative of the Supreme Court in order to transmit quickly their rulings to the jail authorities. So none of them being correct. The correct answer to this question would be option D, neither 1 nor 2. The Supreme Court is under contemplation of a scheme called Fast and Secure Transmission of Electronic Records. This plan is to set up a system of swift and secure electronic transmission for its rulings to jail authorities. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding National Legal Service Authority, NALSA. It is a statutory body. Its aim is to provide free legal services to the weaker section of the society. So we have to select the correct statement. Both these statements, yes, NALSA is a statutory body and its aim is to provide free legal service to those who can't afford it. So the correct answer would be option C, both 1 and 2. The NALSA has been constituted under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. Its aim is to provide free legal services to the weaker sections of the society and to organize lok adalats for amicable settlement of disputes. Consider the following pairs. Hope Mars mission belongs to Israel, Tianwen-1 mission belongs to China, and Mars Odyssey orbiter belongs to France. We have to select the pair or pairs which is or are incorrectly matched. Yes, Tianwen-1, it belongs to China. So this is correctly matched. We have to choose the incorrectly matched ones. Hope doesn't belong to Israel. It belongs to the UAE. And I hope you know, Mars doesn't belong to France. Okay? So the first and the third pairs are not correctly matched. The correct answer to this question would be option B. UAE's Hope Mars mission, UAE's first ever interplanetary mission. 2001, Mars Odyssey is a robotic spacecraft orbiting the planet Mars. This project was developed by NASA and not France. And China's Tianwen-1 mission, consisting of an orbiter, a lander and a rover, was launched on July 23rd, 2020. The Mekar-Datu Dam project is a deep gorge frequently seen in the news, situated at the confluence of which of the following? It is situated at the confluence of river Kaveri and its tributary Arkavati. Let's move on to the explanation. Mekar-Datu, it means goat's leap, is a deep gorge situated at the confluence of the rivers Kaveri and its tributary Arkavati. Moving on, consider the following statements. The Constitution of India defines forced labor and considers it an offence punishable under the law. Article 24 of the Indian Constitution explicitly prohibits and criminalizes human trafficking and forced labor. We have to select the incorrect statement. So the Constitution of India has provided for a provision in the fundamental rights to secure and prevent, basically to prevent forced labor and secure the rights of the minorities in the Article 23 and not 24. But the Constitution has not defined anywhere what is forced labor. So the first and the second, both these statements are incorrect. The correct answer would be option C because we had to select the correct incorrectly matched pair. So it's C, both 1 and 2. The Constitution of India doesn't define forced labor. The Supreme Court of India has read this provision expansively and provided specific guidance on the definition. In the case of People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India and others, 1982, the Supreme Court of India determined that forced labor should be defined as any labor for which the worker receives less than the government stipulated minimum wage. Under Article 23, prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor, traffic in human beings and beggars, and other similar forms of forced labor are prohibited, and any contravention of this provision shall be an offence punishable in accordance with the law. Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from imposing compulsory service for public purposes, and in imposing such service the state shall not make any discrimination on grounds of only of religion, race, caste or class or any of them. Moving on, Consider the following statements on Alps mountain. The Alps emerged during the Alpine orogeny during the Mesozoic era. They are young fold mountains and they do not touch the Danube river. So yes, Alps mountain, they formed during the Alpine orogeny during the Mesozoic era. And yes, they are young fold mountains. Fold mountains, how they are formed? They are formed when two pieces of landmass, they are moving towards each other, and because of the compression, the sediments tend to rise. So they are fold mountains and they do touch the Danube river. So the third statement is not correct. The first and the second being correct, the correct answer would be option A, 1 and 2 only. A recent study by the ETH Technical University in Zurich, Switzerland, it shows that climate change has dramatically altered the Swiss Alp landscape. The Alps emerged during the Alpine orogeny, that is the mountain building event, an event that began about 65 million years ago as the Mesozoic era was drawing to a close. Also, Alps are young fold mountains with a rugged relief and high conical peaks. The Alps extend north from the subtropical Mediterranean coast near Nice, France, to Lake Geneva before trending east-northeast to Vienna, Austria. There they touch the Danube River and melt with the adjacent plain. As you can see, the Alps ranging from France to Switzerland to Liechtenstein, Austria and Slovenia, and also Italy. Moving on, consider the following statements on International Labour Organization. It is the only tripartite United Nations agency. It received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1969. It was established by the Treaty of Versailles as an affiliated agency of the League of Nations. We have to select the correct statement. All of these statements are actually correct, so the correct answer would be option D, 1, 2 and 3. It is the only tripartite United Nations agency. It brings together governments, employers and workers of 187 member states. India is also a member, to set labor standards, develop policies and devise programs promoting decent work for all men and women. It received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1969 and it was established in 1919 by the Treaty of Versailles as an affiliated agency of the League of Nations. It became the first affiliated specialized agency of the UN in 1946. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Let's move on to our practice question. Consider the following: Treaty of Seringapatam, Treaty of Madras, Treaty of Mangalore, Subsidiary Alliance. With reference to the events mentioned above, in the terms of wars fought with Mysore, arrange the above events in the correct ascending order. So, I hope you'll be answering it correctly in the comment segment. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.